I speak a unique language. All artists do. We speak a visual language that's more universal. And as a person alive today, I feel a need to reach out in as many ways as I can to heighten the awareness of other people.
Making art is a gift that some of us are given that can lead to change or infer change or inspire it. And I don't see any separation in my life and my art and my political beliefs. It's all one to me.
I think whenever you can tell a good story and move people towards a space of action and then physically engage them towards an action, that for me at least, that's where I think some of the most powerful exhibition installations that I've experienced have come out of.
I think everyone should stand up for and live the most moral life they can and the most respectful life they can. And to say that only, artists, that's their job, I think that excuses the rest of the world from not doing, or non-artists from not doing that.
I wouldn't put a should on any artist. Artists have to express what they need to express. For me, I have found it essential in a way to have a narrative be part of my art. And it started with my parents' stories and then has expanded more to kind of a bigger Jewish story.
I believe that we create not in a vacuum. Whatever we create, whatever we make is a reflection, either by omission or by what we choose to show of our environment and our stance in what's going on.
Art is about a vision. It's about artists sharing what they think is wrong with the world or right with the world. It's about sharing a vision of where we can go together as a people and as a civilization. And certainly in recent years, my art has taken a more involved stance in that regard, where I feel like there's a responsibility for artists to really say, this is where we are and this is where we need to be.
I think that we, the living, are responsible to talk to the people that were silenced. It's not only the Holocaust, it's the atrocities in Africa and so forth.
Because of the time period I lived through, starting my career in the 70s, in the early 70s, feminism was always a chorus in the background of my work, my career. I didn't think of myself as a feminist per se. However, if you are a woman artist in America, you are a feminist. There's no way to avoid it.
I do see myself as a feminist, but I see myself subscribing to an orthodox point of view.
I understood the difference between feminine and feminist, and that was a tremendous understanding that one could be feminine and should be feminist at the same time. And so the personal and the political were unified as I became very, very active in the feminist art program. I was one of the first 5 women who started the first organization of feminist art organizations called LACWA, LA Council of Women Artists.
I was very much a founder of the feminist movement. I was at the first meetings of the Women's Caucus for Art. I was one of the 2 first artists to exhibit, Judy Chicago being the other, at the Women's Building in Los Angeles. I went to the important first conference at Cal Arts. So I was in the room. I was one of the younger artists, but I was in the room, and it really coincided with my very strong feeling that artists should have social responsibility and that artists could really be part of a change in society.
You know, the last thing created was woman, and God created his practice as he developed creation. So we obviously are on a higher level than men, but you know, we don't lord it over them because we're on that high level. So I think it depends on how you look at things. the prayer that men say in the morning, thank you, God, for not making me a woman, and that we say, thank you, God, for making me as I am, the man is thanking God because he's given an opportunity to do so many mitzvahs as a male. But we, who were created on a higher level, modestly thank God for putting us on that high level. We don't have to do them.
There is an injunction in Judaism which is called Kol Isha, the voice of a woman. And the voice of a woman should never be heard by a man because it would be distracting from the men learning Torah. So this painting has to do with the fact that I transformed the Torah into a female Torah. And I only wrote the words Kol Isha over and over again, these words that should never be spoken. And I, instead of putting the Torah in the way it's usually housed, in a wooden ark with a kind of a military outfit, you know, velvet thing with epaulets, and you can't see it, I dressed the Torah in a negligee. Her cleavage is almost openable. She has a little pubic bouquet of pine needles, and one can easily unravel that ribbon. And instead of a wooden ark, I gave her a pearl ark.
I believe the strongest work comes from the deepest places inside of you. So whatever is motivating that, whether it be personal, political, whatever, I think the artist should follow that. Now, do I think all artists should be political? No.
I believe that I'm unveiling something that already exists. I believe that it is coming from the collective unconscious. I believe that there is no need for me to be involved or to bring politics into my art, or vice versa. As an individual, I could have my opinions, but I don't want to involve my art in politics.
I don't think an artist really has a choice in whether they are engaged in public affairs and social issues. I think artists in their work are driven by what is of interest to them as a person.
I don't think that all artists need to address social and political issues. There's lots of good art that doesn't include that. I, however, need to do it personally.
I think as artists, just practicing art is kind of a political act in itself.
I think there absolutely is a place for activism in art, and I think that all art is a conscious act that makes a statement of some sort.
I found out that there were 80 different ethnicities in Los Angeles, and I decided to do a painting with all these people. I have maybe 100 people, I'm not sure what it is. They're all about 8 or 9 inches tall, and they're mostly adults, some children, and they knew that they were gave me their permission to use their image, and people lined up and really enjoyed being part of it.
I believe that artists have a platform on which they can shine light on issues, and they should take a stand.
In terms of using my photography for an expression of either social protest or society, I don't really feel that that's a mission. I think most artists create their art out of a need to express something inside themselves.
Yes, I am an activist, and sometimes I stand up in front of large crowds and say things. But my main work, and where I think I am best used with all these thoughts and ideas, is as an artist.
Words and how you use them can be very powerful. The idea that what you share with others, the way that you communicate with them, can change minds and can change the world. For me, it's not words so much, it's what I do with my art.
I was always very active in getting involved in the community. It was 1984 rather, and I was teaching at a downtown school. and it was around Christmas time, and the Red Cross had put out 2 tents to house about 300 people, and I decided to go out of curiosity. So I went over and I started speaking to some of the homeless people, and there were 2 men that couldn't get into the tent, and they were leaning against the wall, cardboard boxes and all. And I asked if I could take their pictures. And they said, if you shake our hands. So of course I did. And I realized the solitude that they go through. They might as well be part of the landscape, that's it. And then I went inside and I saw what it was like to be in a shelter. I saw men in wheelchairs, and I saw young boys who thought the streets would be lined with gold. I wanted to be involved, and I wanted to do a consciousness-raising statement for awareness.
All my blocks look like they're like tattooed women, but they're like hennaed women. And so I actually went to Morocco last summer and did a residency there. And I put together a group of local women, and we had a henna party where they told me all their life stories, and I documented them, and I started doing work that incorporated their stories into these pieces.
I did a project for Jewish World Watch, raising awareness of the treatment of women and children in Darfur and Congo in the camps, the rampant rape that was going on, and the annihilation of women's spirits as well as their bodies, and brought that to the West Coast.
So the work for a couple of years in California was very focused on looking outward and looking at how my community was changing, sort of again to that American dream. And how is it getting more and more impossible to do that? And as the middle class is ebbing away. And I looked at the rising homelessness, and even though I don't live that lifestyle, I see it with concern.
Inside, I think most Jewish artists who are aware and conscious of their Jewish identity is the tradition in Judaism of helping the poor, helping the downtrodden. And so to that extent, yes. I mean, I've started working with another photographer and doing something with homeless in Los Angeles.
My daughter-in-law at the time was responsible for opening the first shelter in the valley for women and children. And she was involved with the city council. It was co-sponsored. And through her, I met different people, and she helped me. Through Ted, I was able to meet a number of the homeless people. He would take me around and he would say, hey guys, she's one of us, she wants to work with you, let her do that.
Even to other religions, with all that's going on in the world right now, everyone's a target now. Christians, Muslims, Jews. It used to be just that the Jews were being picked on, right? So now I feel like this brotherhood almost that we need to unify, and that's really what my work is about, bringing about peace.
What I'm trying to do is build bridges amongst people right now. So me meeting with women of different faiths, there was Christian, Muslim, old, young, Jew, I was the Jewish one. But meeting with women and building bridges, I feel like that's my job right now. That's what I'm doing, and to try and bring peace in this world, make it a better place.